Hey everyone, welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're really getting into planning that unforgettable trip to South Korea for 2025. If you're dreaming about exploring, the vibrant cities, those serene mountains, the rich culture, well, you are definitely in for a treat. We've gathered a fantastic stack of sources for this. We've got a big 2025 travel guide full of essential tips, a really candid Reddit guide from someone who just loves Busan.
Oh, yeah, those personal takes are always so valuable.
Exactly. And a beautiful seasonal guide to Korea's traditional Hanok villages, an in-depth look at surviving winter there, and a popular site detailing the famous fall foliage tours. So our mission today, basically cut through all that information overload. We want to equip you with the essential nuggets you need for a smooth, exciting, and truly well-informed adventure in the land of the morning calm. We're aiming to uncover hidden gems, reveal some insider tips, and get you ready for everything from navigating public transport to embracing those unique cultural moments.
Yeah, and what's fascinating here, I think, is how we can synthesize all these different perspectives. From the detailed itineraries and practical advice to that candid traveler feedback we mentioned. It gives you a much more um, holistic view. We'll explore not just what to see, but also those crucial practical things that honestly often make or break a trip, and hopefully encourage you to think critically about how to tailor all this info to your own travel style and interests.
Okay, let's unpack this then. First things first. When is the absolute best time to visit Korea? And what are those essential preparations you really need to sort out before you even step on the plane?
Right, so timing. For the most comfortable weather and loads of festivals, you really can't beat spring. Think late March to May. In autumn, which is roughly mid-September to mid-November, the weather's generally mild and maybe 10 to 30 degrees Celsius. Perfect for exploring.
Ideal sightseeing weather.
Exactly. April for the cherry blossoms and October for that amazing autumn foliage are often highlighted as like peak beauty times. Personal favorites for many. But of course, the other seasons have their own appeal. Summer, July, August is great if you're into water activities or big festivals like the Boryang Mud Festival or the Washian Tomato
Because a
Festival.
mud festival always sounds like messy fun.
It definitely is. And then winter, December to February, offers those snowy landscapes, ski resorts, and really beautiful light festivals. Quite magical in its own way. Now, getting into the country for 2025, there have been some pretty significant updates you need to know about. First up, the KETA, that's the Korea Electronic Travel Authorization.
Right.
It's actually suspended right now for travelers from 22 specific countries. That includes places like Australia, Canada, the UK, the US, a lot of common ones. And the suspension is currently in effect from April 2024 all the way through December 2025.
Wow. Okay. So for many listeners, that's one less piece of admin to worry about before they even pack. That's a pretty big deal.
It really is. Simplifies things. And there's more good news on that front. As of July 3rd, 2024, the KETA validity for those who do still need it has been extended to 3 years. Plus, kids age 17 and younger and adults 65 and older no longer need to apply for a KETA at all.
Even better.
And health-wise, the Q code registration system, that's gone as of July 15th, 2024. No longer required. Masks are now only mandatory in medical facilities like hospitals or clinics. And if you happen to get sick, there's no mandatory self-isolation anymore, though they do still recommend a 5-day self-isolation period.
Okay, that covers entry. What about once you're planning the budget? What does it all mean for your wallet and how do you stay connected? Let's talk money and phones.
Right, money. The currency is the Korean one, KRW. Just to give you a rough idea for daily cost per person, a budget traveler might aim for, say, 50,000 to 100,000 KRW. Mid-range, maybe 100,000 to 200,000 KRW. You got luxury, well, 200,000 KRW and up. Keep in mind, though, if you're traveling as a couple or family and sharing rooms, your per-person cost can definitely be lower.
And I've heard Korea is largely cashless now. What does that actually mean for a traveler on the ground?
Yeah, it's becoming very cashless, especially in cities. It means relying on digital payments isn't just convenient, it's pretty much essential sometimes. Your foreign credit cards, like Visa and MasterCard, are widely accepted. American Express may be a little less so, but still usable in many places.
Good to know.
Definitely check with your bank about overseas transaction fees beforehand, though. Those can add up. You can get cash from global ATMs, but they usually charge a fee, maybe around 3,000 KRW per withdrawal. Now, for saving money on payments and just making life easier, the WL Pass is a really interesting option.
Tell me more about that.
Okay, so think of it as like a combo card. It's a prepaid card that acts as both your T-Money transportation card and a local debit card for spending. You can top it up using foreign currency at these WOW machines. There are over 90 of them, airports, subway stations, tourist areas. You can even withdraw one from those same machines. There's an app, too, for managing funds, checking balances, exchange rates.
That sounds incredibly useful, like a travel Swiss army knife for money.
Pretty much. They even have an all-in-one airport package, gives you the WOW Pass card, some preloaded T-Money balance, and a discounted SIM card. Worth looking into. Alternatively, those overseas travel cards like Wise or Revolut are also excellent choices. They usually offer great exchange rates and low fees for spending abroad.
Okay, the WOW Pass sounds great for card payments, but what if you do need some physical cash? Where's the best place to exchange?
For physical cash, Incheon Airport actually offers decent rates when you arrive. But often, the very best rates are found at those automated WOW money exchange machines we mentioned. Or you can check out the exchange booths in busy areas like Myeongdong or near Hongdae subway station in Seoul. They tend to be quite competitive. Oh, and a big heads up for 2025 travel. Tax refund limits are doubling.
Doubling, wow.
Yeah, you'll be able to claim refunds on purchases up to a total of 5 million KRW with a limit of 1 million KRW per single transaction. Big increase. Just remember the usual requirements. Show your passport, prove you're a tourist, spend between 30,000 and I think it's 300,000 KRW in one store, and make sure you depart within 3 months of the purchase.
Good tip. Okay, now connectivity. SIM card, pocket Wi-Fi. What's the verdict?
So your main choices are getting a Korean SIM card, either a physical one or an eSIM if your phone supports it, or renting a portable Wi-Fi router, sometimes called a Wi-Fi egg. A SIM card is great, especially for solo travelers. It gives you a Korean phone number.
Which can be useful, right?
Super useful. You often need a local number to sign up for certain Korean apps like food delivery, Kakao Taxi, even some popular attractions like the Busan Sky Capsule for reservations. Plus, you can make local calls easily and tether your connection to other devices if needed. Portable Wi-Fi routers, on the other hand, are often better for groups or families.
Yeah.
Multiple people, multiple devices can connect to the one router. You usually rent them on a daily basis.
Makes sense. Any recommendations on getting them?
Yeah, the easiest way is often to pre-order online through sites like Klook or Viator before you travel. You can then just pick it up right at Incheon Airport when you land. They have 24-hour pickup desks. Super convenient. Now, you will find free Wi-Fi widely available, especially in cities, public transport, government buildings, cafes, hotels. It's pretty common. But the thing is, so many Korean services, tickets, passes, they're going digital. So having your own reliable, active internet connection is becoming more and more necessary, I'd say.
Right. Relying solely on free Wi-Fi might be tricky. Okay, we've covered connectivity. What about essential apps? If you had to pick just one absolute game changer app for a first timer in Korea, what would it be?
Oh, just one. That's tough. But if I had to pick, probably Papago for translation. Its image translation feature for reading signs and menus instantly. Absolute lifesaver.
Okay, Papago. Got it. What else is crucial?
Definitely Naver Maps or Kakao Maps for navigation. Google Maps just isn't as accurate or detailed in Korea. You really need one of these local ones. Then Kakao Taxi for calling cabs. Kakao Talk is the main messaging app locals use, so handy if you need to contact guest houses or, local friends. Seoul Subway app makes navigating the metro super easy. Korail Talk for booking KTX high-speed trains between cities. Intercity Bus by T-Money for booking longer bus journeys. And of course, the apps for whatever travel money card you choose, Wise, Revolut, or the WebAss app.
That's a great list. Okay, let's move on to the really fun stuff. Exploring Korea, the diverse landscapes, the cities. Where do we start?
How about Seoul and those famous Hanok villages?
Yeah, Seoul. As the capital, it's vibrant, it's bustling, it's a definite must-see, especially for first-timers. You could easily spend a week there, maybe even more, just exploring key sites. You've got the grand Gyeongbokgung Palace, the charming Bukhanok Village right in the city, the shopping chaos of Myeongdong street markets, the views from Lotte World Tower, the futuristic Dongdaemun Design Plaza.
So,
So much.
and where's best to stay? Depends on your vibe, really. Myeongdong is super convenient, lots of hotels, great transport links. Hongdae is known for its youthful, cool culture, artsy scene, nightlife. Gangnam, well, it's more upscale shopping, clubs, K-pop entertainment companies.
Okay, and hammocks. We see pictures, they look beautiful, but what exactly is a hammock? What makes them special beyond just being old houses?
Ah, hammocks. They're just wonderful. You probably recognize them by those distinctive, gracefully curved tiled roofs. That's called giwa. It's not just for looks. The curve helps manage rain and snow. And inside, many traditionally feature ondol heating. It's an underfloor heating system, originally using heated stones under the floorboards. Imagine stepping onto a warm floor on a chilly morning lovely.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
It really is. These villages are crucial for preserving Korea's architectural and cultural heritage. They offer a real glimpse into the past. You'll find several key Hanok villages worth visiting. Right in Seoul, there's a Bupshan Hanok village, narrow alleyways, traditional houses packed together, often with stunning views over the modern city skyline. Great for photos. It also has cultural centers, craft workshops. You can try things out.
Like what kind of crafts?
Oh, things like traditional paper making, hanji, not tying, maybe even dyeing fabrics. The Bukshan Traditional Craft Experience Center is a good place to look. Then further south, you have Jeonju Hanok Village. It's huge, over 800 hammocks. Jeonju is also famous as a culinary capital, especially for its local dish, Jeonju bibimbap. Plus, great street food, traditional festivals. It's very lively.
Bibimbap is my favorite.
You'd love Jeonju then. There's also Andong Haho Folk Village, which is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Really well preserved, still a living village in parts, known for its traditional mask dance performances. And Gyeongju Yangdong Village, another UNESCO site, often runs educational programs like tea ceremonies or folk games. Even on Jeju Island, there's Harbag Hanok Village, blending that traditional style with Jeju's unique natural scenery.
Lots of options. Any practical tips for visiting them?
Definitely wear comfortable shoes. The paths can be uneven, sometimes hilly, lots of steps. It's essential. Most are pretty accessible by public transport, which is great. And for a really unique experience, consider staying overnight in a traditional guest house, a Hodok stay. It's very immersive.
A hanok stay sounds incredible.
Yeah,
Okay, let's head south now to Busan. I hear it's got a totally different vibe from Seoul.
he really does. Busan's a vibrant southern coastal city. Think fresh seafood. The Jigaochi Fish Market is an experience in itself. Traditional markets, great beaches, lots of festivals, especially in summer. It's very spread out geographically, so you definitely need a few days to do it justice.
How do you typically get there from Seoul?
Easiest is usually by train.
Yeah.
The KTX high-speed train or the SRT train run frequently down to Busan Station or Gupo Station. Takes around 2.5 to 3 hours. Very efficient. You can fly from Gimpo Airport in Seoul to Gimhae Airport in Busan. The flight itself is only about an hour. But once you factor in getting to Gimpo, airport security, then getting from Gimhae into Busan City, the total travel time often ends up pretty similar to the train. Gimhae is connected by bus and a light rail line, though. And buses are an option, too. Busan has several express and intercity bus terminals, but just double check which one you need, as some are a bit out of the way.
Okay, so train is probably the simplest. Once you're in Busan, how do you navigate this spread out city? What's the best way to get around?
The subway is definitely your friend in Busan. There are 6 lines running generally from 5 or 6 a.m. until around midnight. It accepts T-money and cash B cards, the same ones you might use in Seoul. You can also buy day passes or multi-day passes if you plan on using it a lot.
Any quirks with the subway there?
Just one little heads up. Transiting between some lines, especially involving the light blue Donghae-Nambu line, which runs along the coast, can sometimes be tricky if you're using single-use tickets or day passes. Your T-money or cash B card will work fine, but the single tickets might require you to exit and re-enter, potentially paying extra. So yeah, using a transport card is generally smoother. Buses have a really extensive network too. They go everywhere. But be warned, Busan has a reputation as maybe the hardest city to drive in Korea.
Oh, really? Why is that?
Traffic jams can be pretty intense. So while buses are comprehensive, they might not always be the fastest option depending on the time of day and route. Plan accordingly. Taxis are plentiful. Look for the sign Ulige, Benucha, in the window. That means it's available. Using the Kakao T app is highly recommended. Your Uber app might even connect directly to local taxis through Kakao T now. Meters are reliable, so you don't generally need to worry about negotiating fares.
Good to know. And what about that phrase you mentioned earlier?
Hurry, pali, meaning quickly, quickly. Yeah, only use that if it's a genuine emergency and you need the driver to hurry. Otherwise, just let the meter run.
Got it. So, what are the must-visit spots or experiences in Busan?
Well, being coastal, there are hot springs for relaxation, lots of water sports, windsurfing, jet skiing, yacht tours. Busan also has some really interesting historical traces from the Korean War era. You can find some restaurants serving North Korean style food, which is quite unique. And the Gukje market, international market, has roots in that period, originally selling smuggled goods.
Fascinating history.
It is. Then there's the famous Gamcheon Culture Village with its colorful houses built up the hillside. It's incredibly photogenic, but be prepared for a lot of walking, lots of slopes and stairs.
Worth the climb, though, I bet.
Definitely. For a more central hub, check out Seomyeon. It's sometimes called Little Gangnam. Lots of department stores, trendy cafes, underground shopping, markets. It's a major subway interchange point, too. So easy to get to. Seomyeon also has great poches. These are like tented outdoor stalls, often serving food and drinks in the evening. A really fun local experience.
Oh, Chaz. Okay, adding that to the list. What about the beaches?
Hondi Beach is probably the most famous, very popular, big sandy stretch. But actually, a lot of travelers and locals, too, prefer the vibe at Gwangali Beach. It's got great views of the Gwangan Bridge, lots of cafes and restaurants along the front. And on Saturday nights, they usually have an amazing drone show over the water, weather permitting, of course. Check the times, they vary between summer and winter.
A drone show. That sounds cool. Busan definitely sounds like it needs its own dedicated time.
Absolutely. Don't try to just squeeze it in as a quick day trip from Seoul. It deserves several days at least.
Right. Now, let's talk seasons again. South Korea transforms so dramatically. Let's dive into that breathtaking autumn foliage first. I saw those tours mentioned.
Yes, the autumn foliage is spectacular. There are organized day tours specifically for foliage viewing, usually running from Seoul between mid-October and late November.
Hmm.
Seoraksa National Park is probably one of the most iconic spots. Dramatic granite peaks, great hiking trails, vibrant colors. It's home to Sinhungsa Temple, too. It's about a 3.5 to 4 hour drive from Seoul. You typically get several hours of free time there. Just note the cable car ticket up the mountain is usually extra, not included in the tour price.
And good shoes are a must, you said.
Absolutely essential for Seoraksan. The paths can be quite rocky. One review mentioned their guide wasn't the most informative, but the park itself was just stunning. Another top destination is Najeongsan National Park. It's famous for its brilliant crimson leaves, especially these smaller baby maple trees that have incredibly vivid colors. It also has waterfalls, temples like Najeongsa Temple. It's a bit further, maybe 4 to 4.5 hours from Seoul. Again, hilly terrain, so walking poles might be helpful if you plan to hike. The shortest trail takes about an hour.
Okay, Seoraksan and Nye Johnson sound like the big names. Any warnings about them?
The main thing, based on traveler feedback, is crowds, especially on weekends during peak season. Travel times can balloon. One source mentioned a 4 hour trip turning into a 7 hour return journey on a Sunday due to traffic. If you can, try to visit these popular parks on a weekday. It makes a huge difference.
Weekday visit. Noted. Any other parks worth considering for fall colors?
Definitely. Odaesan National Park is known for its dense forests and beautiful fall colors. It has Woljeongsa Temple and that picturesque fir tree road that became famous from the K-drama Goblin. For something a bit more adventurous, there's Daedonsan Mountain. It's known for dramatic cliffs and features the Gyumgang Suspension Bridge. It's 81 meters high, offers incredible views, especially with the autumn colors.
A suspension bridge. Okay, maybe not for those afraid of heights.
Perhaps not. The cable car ride is included in most Daedonsan tours, though. One reviewer called the final climb to the peak challenging, more like a rock fall, but totally rewarding. Again, non-weekend visit, highly recommended. And there's also Jingtai's recreational forest near Daejeon, famous for its tall metasequoia trees, often combined on tours with the visit to a local hot spring footpath.
So many choices. These tours generally include transport and guide.
Yeah, typically round-trip transport from specific pickup points in Seoul, usually Hongdae, Myeongdong, Donghamun, an English or Chinese-speaking guide or staff member, and entrance fees were applicable. Meals and personal expenses are usually extra. They're very popular. One site mentioned over 25,000 bookings for these kinds of tours.
Wow. Okay, so autumn is covered, but what happens when all those beautiful leaves fall? Korea turns into a winter wonderland, right?
It really does. Winter, December to February, brings a different kind of magic. Temperatures drop, obviously. Seoul averages maybe -7 degrees C to 5 degrees C, but strong, icy winds, especially near the coast, can make it feel much colder. The province of Gangwon-do, to the east of Seoul, is typically the coldest and snowiest region. That's where you'll find most of the ski resorts.
Yeah, so if you want guaranteed snow, head to Gangwon-do.
That's your best bet, especially in late December or January. Seoul does get snow, but often less, and it tends to melt quite quickly in the city. Nami Island is another popular spot known for looking beautiful covered in snow. And winter means snow sports. Skiing and snowboarding are huge in Gangwon-do. You've got resorts like Elysian Gangcheon, which is known for being good for beginners and close to Seoul. Willy Hilly Park is good for intermediate levels. Yeongpung Resort is one of the biggest hosted Winter Olympics events, great for advanced skiers, and has the longest season. Vivaldi Park is very family-friendly. It even has a separate snow sledding park called Snowy Land.
Can you rent gear and get lessons easily?
Absolutely. All major resorts have extensive rental shops for skis, snowboards, clothing, and English-speaking instructors are usually available, especially if you book lessons in advance. Beyond skiing, there's snow sledding, which is great fun for all ages. Some resorts have dedicated sledding slopes. For the really adventurous, you can even find ice climbing courses in some mountainous areas, and ice skating rinks pop up in cities too.
Sounds invigorating. But what if you just want to escape the cold and warm up?
Then you embrace the Korean tradition of jade jjimjilbangs and onchons.
Saunas and hot springs.
Exactly. Jjimjilbangs are large public bathhouses, often with various sauna rooms, hot, cold, salt, jade, communal sleeping areas, snack bars. They're an amazing way to relax and warm up for hours. Onshins are natural hot springs, often found in spa resorts, great for soaking in mineral-rich waters. Some notable ones mentioned are Aquafield Spa and Spa Land Centum City in Busan, or Hershentong Grand Spa, also in Busan, apparently Asia's largest hot spring spa. Termitten Spa near Seoul offers a German-style spa experience.
That sounds like the perfect antidote to a cold day. Any other cozy winter activities?
Well, believe it or not, strawberry picking is popular in winter. You do it inside warm greenhouses. It's a surprisingly fun, family-friendly activity, and Korean strawberries are delicious. And for incredible indoor views, there's the Lotte World Tower in Seoul, Korea's tallest building. The Seoul Sky Observatory floors offer panoramic views day or night.
And that sky bridge you mentioned.
Yeah, for the real thrill seekers.
Yeah.
Walking across the open-air sky bridge 541 meters up definitely gets the adrenaline pumping.
Maybe I'll stick to the observatory. What about winter festivals?
Winter is prime time for light festivals. The Garden of Morning Calm Lighting Festival is huge. Runs from December to March, thousands and thousands of lights. It's magical. Seoul often has its own lantern festival too, and Busan has the Hongdae Light Festival illuminating the beach area. Then you have the ice and snow festivals, mostly in Gangwon-do. Things like the Hwacheon Sanchineo Ice Festival, famous for ice fishing, sledding, huge ice sculptures, or the Taebiksan Snow Festival. And for New Year's, witnessing the first sunrise is a big tradition. Sunrise festivals happen at places like Homigo, the easternmost point of mainland Korea, or Yosuhingiram down south, often with cultural performances, food, a really special way to start the year.
Wow, winter sounds just as packed as other seasons. Okay, beyond the big seasonal events, what about those unique everyday experiences or foods that really capture Korea's essence?
Absolutely. Well, we mentioned the Boryang Mud Festival in summer. That's a huge one outside the main seasons. But day to day, you have to dive into Korean street food. It's everywhere, it's cheap, it's delicious.
Yes. What are the must-tries?
Oh, classics like tteokbokki, those chewy rice cakes and spicy red sauce. Eomuk fish cakes, usually served on skewers in a warm broth, perfect for winter. Hot egg sweet, filled pancakes, often with brown sugar, cinnamon nuts, amazing when hot off the griddle. And bunjeopang, those cute fish-shaped pastries, typically filled with sweet red bean paste or custard.
My mouth is watering already. Is street food generally safe to eat?
Generally, yes, it's very safe. Just use common sense, make sure things look fresh, especially meat or seafood skewers. Ensure they're cooked thoroughly. But hygiene standards are usually pretty good.
Yeah.
For sit-down meals, especially in winter, seek out those warming dishes. We mentioned also bibimbap. The rice gets crispy on the bottom of the hot stone bowl, fantastic texture. Tteokguk, the rice cake soup, traditionally eaten for New Year's, but great anytime. And kimchi jjigae, that hearty, spicy kimchi stew. Comfort food central.
Sounds delicious. What about non-food experiences?
Korea, especially Seoul, is famous for its themed cafes. You can find cafes centered around almost anything. Animal cafes are popular cats, dogs, even raccoons or sheep sometimes. There's a famous poop cafe.
A poop cafe?
Yep, it's all themed decor and creatively presented desserts. There are magic-themed cafes, flower cafes, board game cafes, endless variety, especially around areas like Hongdae and Seoul. For evening fun, Norbang karaoke rooms are a huge part of social culture. You rent a private room with friends, sing your hearts out, lots of fun. And for day trips from Seoul, the DMZ, Demilitarized Zone Tour, is a very unique, sobering experience offering insight into the Korean War and the divided peninsula. You have to go on an organized tour for access to certain areas. Or, for something lighter, the Korean folk village in Yongin, south of Seoul, recreates traditional life from different eras with historical buildings, actors in costume, craft demonstrations. It's quite immersive.
So a classic first-timer week might involve Seoul, maybe Busan, and then a historical city like Gyeongju, plus a day trip like the DMZ.
Yeah, that's a very popular and achievable itinerary for about 7-10 days. Gives you a good mix of modern city, coastal vibe, history, and culture.
Perfect. Okay, last section, but super important. Practicalities, cultural nuances, safety, navigating the unique cultural landscape. What are some key things travelers should know?
Right, culture. Korea generally values social harmony, respect for others, and maintaining a positive social image or face. Avoiding public confrontation or causing embarrassment to others is pretty important. Some specific etiquette points. Pointing directly at someone with one finger or using chopsticks to point is considered rude. Giving or receiving things, money, gifts, even drinks, it's customary and polite to use two hands, or at least support your right forearm with your left hand, especially when interacting with someone older or in a formal setting.
Two hands. Okay, good reminder.
Yeah. Also, crossing your legs when sitting, especially in front of elders, can be seen as too casual or disrespectful in some contexts. And of course, always take your shoes off when entering someone's home, a temple, or many traditional restaurants where you sit on the floor. Look for shoe racks near the entrance.
What about tipping?
Tipping is generally not customary in Korea. You don't need a tip in restaurants, cafes, or taxis. Service charges are rare, except maybe in some very high-end international hotels or restaurants. Tipping tour guides, however, is often appreciated and generally acceptable, though usually not explicitly required. And you mentioned Pali, quickly. You might hear it or sense that fast-paced energy, especially in busy places like the subway during rush hour. Koreans generally move quickly, but don't feel pressured yourself. Just be aware of the flow.
That's helpful context. And the rubbish bin situation.
Ah, yes, the elusive public bins. They can be surprisingly hard to find on streets. Your best bet is often to hold on to your trash until you pass a convenience store. They almost always have bins outside or just inside, usually separated for recycling and general waste. Or use bins inside subway stations.
Convenience stores for trash disposal. Got it. What about language barriers? How much English can travelers expect?
In major tourist areas, airports, public transport, and main attractions, you'll find a good amount of English signage and announcements. But day-to-day interactions, that Papago app we talked about is truly essential, especially that image translation for menus or signs that are only in Korean. Many Koreans, especially the younger generation, have studied English in school, but they might be quite shy or hesitant to speak it.
So, how should you approach someone?
It's always polite to start with a simple Korean greeting like "Annyeonghaseyo," hello, and maybe ask politely, "Do yamnat young o hal su isoyo," which means, "Do you speak English?" Even learning just a few basic phrases, "thank you," "감사합니다," "shelahamida," goes a long way and is really appreciated. It shows effort and respect.
Definitely worth learning a few basics. Okay, finally, health and safety. Is Korea generally safe?
South Korea is generally considered very safe for travelers. Personal crime rates like theft, mugging, or violence against tourists are extremely low, It's common and safe to walk around, even late at night, especially in cities.
That's reassuring.
Yeah, standard precautions apply, of course, like anywhere, but it's one of the safer countries you can visit in that regard. We mentioned street food safety, generally good. Just ensure things are cooked properly. For vegans or vegetarians, options are increasing, especially in trendy areas like Hongdae and Itaewon in Seoul. Traditional Korean food can sometimes be tricky things like kimchi might contain tiny shrimp or fish sauce, even if it looks vegetarian. Always best to ask or specify clearly. Korean Buddhist temple cuisine, however, is reliably vegan and often delicious.
Good tip for vegans. And tap water.
Tap water is perfectly potable and safe to drink. Korea actually ranks quite high globally for water hygiene. While you'll see many Koreans buying bottled water out of preference or habit, feel free to refill your water bottle from the tap. It's fine.
Saves money and plastic. Vaccinations.
No specific vaccinations are mandatory for entry, but it's always recommended to be up to date on your routine vaccinations, tetanus, MMR, polio, etc. Depending on your travel style and duration, vaccines for hepatitis A and B, typhoid, and Japanese encephalitis might be suggested by your doctor. Best to consult them. For emergencies, the number to call is 119 for medical help or fire rescue and 112 for police. Both have English language options available and a nice bonus. Ambulance rides in Korea are free. Medical facilities are generally excellent and modern, and costs, while not zero, are often considered reasonable compared to, say, the U.S. Travel insurance is still essential, though.
Good to know those numbers.
I,
Any other health concerns? Air pollution?
Air pollution can be an issue sometimes, yeah, especially during certain seasons like spring when yellow dust can blow over from China and Mongolia mixing with domestic pollution. You might see people wearing masks outdoors on days with high particulate matter levels. You can check daily air quality levels easily online or via apps.
Okay, great overview of the practicalities. Looking back at everything we've discussed, what stands out to you most about all this information, thinking about a potential trip? We've really covered a lot, haven't we? From the best seasons and prepping for entry to exploring Seoul and Busan, autumn leaves, winter snow, diving into the food, the culture, the practical tips. Hopefully, this deep dive gives you a really solid foundation, moving beyond just a list of places to see to understanding how to truly experience Korea in 2025.
Absolutely. And if we try to connect this to a bigger picture, what I find truly fascinating about South Korea is this incredible blend of ancient traditions sitting right alongside hypermodern technology and advancement. You see it everywhere. And it raises, I think, a really interesting question for you to ponder as a potential visitor. In a world that's globalizing so rapidly, how does a country like South Korea manage to so fiercely preserve its unique identity? From its tranquil Hanok villages and centuries-old festivals to its really specific social etiquette. How does it maintain all that while simultaneously embracing the world with things like K-pop, cutting-edge tech, and this amazing modern infrastructure? It's a fascinating balancing act. What unique insights might you gain by witnessing that firsthand? Something to think about.
That's a brilliant thought to end on. That unique blend of old and new, tradition and future. We really hope this deep dive into South Korea has sparked your curiosity and given you plenty to think about for planning your own unforgettable adventure. We can't wait to hear about the surprising things you uncover on your journey.